Psalm 21 in full. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not smite you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will preserve your life. The Lord will preserve your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. This psalm is a song of trust in the Lord's protection and help. It highlights God's faithfulness and care for those who seek Him, ensuring safety and peace. The story. Psalm 121 is a pilgrimage song, traditionally attributed to King David, although its authorship is uncertain. The story behind this psalm relates to the experience of the people of Israel on their spiritual and physical journey. Historical context. Psalm 121 is part of the Psalms of Ascent, Psalms 120 to 134, which were sung by pilgrims ascending to Jerusalem for religious festivals such as Passover, Pentecost, and the Feast of Tabernacles. These psalms express the people's trust and hope in God during their journeys and challenges. Content of the psalm. The psalm begins with the rhetorical question, I lift up my eyes to the hills, where does my help come from? Psalm 121 verse 1. The psalmist is referring to the hills surrounding Jerusalem where many pagan temples were located. He is aware of the threats and challenges surrounding him, but he quickly affirms that his help comes from the Lord, the creator of heaven and earth. The psalmist then expresses confidence in God's protection, affirming that he will neither slumber nor sleep. This is a powerful declaration of God's constant watchfulness over his people. He promises to guard the steps of the faithful, protecting them from harm and ensuring their safety. The message of Psalm 121 is confidence in God's protection and provision. It teaches that regardless of the circumstances, God is always present and active in the lives of His children. The psalm also highlights the importance of looking to God as the source of help rather than relying on human resources or idols. This message is relevant for all who face challenges and uncertainty in their journey of faith. Psalm 121 reminds us that we can have peace and security knowing that God keeps and protects us. By reflecting on this psalm, we can find comfort and strength to face life's challenges, trusting in God's constant presence with us. The story behind Psalm 121 is rich and multifaceted. While there is no absolute consensus on the psalm's authorship and specific context, we can explore some of the most common interpretations. Origin and authorship. Psalm 121 is traditionally attributed to King David, one of the primary authors of the Psalms. However, authorship is uncertain, and some scholars suggest that the psalm may have been written by another author, possibly during the post-exile period. Pilgrimage context. As mentioned previously, Psalm 121 is part of the Psalms of Ascent. These psalms were sung by pilgrims ascending to Jerusalem for religious festivals such as Passover, Pentecost, and the Feast of Tabernacles. These psalms express the people's trust and hope in God during their journeys and challenges. Mountains and protection. The mention of mountains at the beginning of the psalm, Psalm 121 verse 1, may refer to the mountains surrounding Jerusalem where many pagan temples were located. This may be a reference to the temptation to seek help and protection from false gods rather than trusting in the true God. God as guardian. The psalm highlights the image of God as a constant and watchful guardian. The statement that He will neither slumber nor sleep, Psalm 121 verse 4, is a powerful declaration of God's constant attention to His people. This contrasts with the idea of pagan gods who are often seen as distant or uninterested. Application to the lives of the Israelites. For the Israelites, Psalm 121 would have been a reminder of God's protection during their physical and spiritual journeys. They faced many challenges, from dangerous journeys to threats from enemies, and the psalm encouraged them to trust in divine protection. Current relevance. The message of Psalm 121 remains relevant today, offering comfort and reassurance to those facing challenges and uncertainty. It reminds us that God is always with us, guarding our steps and protecting us from harm. Theological interpretation. From a theological perspective, Psalm 121 highlights God's sovereignty and care. He is presented as the creator of heaven and earth, emphasizing his authority and power. At the same time, the psalm reveals God's intimacy and involvement in the lives of his children, offering protection and security. This rich tapestry of themes and imagery makes Psalm 121 a source of inspiration and encouragement for many generations, both in its original context and in its contemporary application.
Psalm 121 is deeply rooted in the religious and cultural experience of the people of Israel. Here are some additional aspects that can enrich our understanding. Pilgrimages and religious festivals. The Psalms of Ascension, including Psalm 121, were sung during pilgrimages to Jerusalem. These pilgrimages were significant moments in the religious life of the Israelites, where they gathered to celebrate important festivals such as Passover, Pentecost, and the Feast of Tabernacles. The psalm may have been used to prepare pilgrims spiritually for these journeys. Symbolism of mountains. The mountains mentioned at the beginning of the psalm, Psalm 121 verse 1, are not only a geographical setting but also carry spiritual symbolism. The mountains surrounding Jerusalem were often associated with pagan places of worship, and the question, "From where does my help come?" may reflect the psalmist's struggle to maintain faith in the true God amid pagan influences. God as shade and protection. The image of the Lord as the shade at your right hand is particularly significant. In Middle Eastern culture, shade was a symbol of protection from the scorching heat of the sun. This metaphor suggests that God not only protects, but also provides relief and refreshment in times of trouble. God's constant vigilance. The statement that he will neither slumber nor sleep highlights God's constant vigilance. This contrasts with the perception of pagan gods, who are often seen as having limitations or being indifferent to human affairs. The image of God as a guardian who never sleeps offers great comfort and security. Daily application. For the Israelites, Psalm 121 would have been a source of encouragement not only during their wanderings, but also in their daily lives. They faced many challenges, from external threats to internal struggles, and the psalm reminded them of God's protection in all circumstances. Current relevance. Today, Psalm 121 continues to be a source of inspiration for many. It reminds us that, regardless of the circumstances, we can trust in God's protection and care. The psalm's message about God's constant vigilance and his ability to protect and guard his people is especially relevant in times of uncertainty and fear. Christian interpretation. In Christian interpretation, Psalm 121 is often seen as a prefiguration of Christ's protection and care. The idea of God as guardian is seen as a manifestation of God's love and care for his creation, culminating in the redemptive work of Jesus Christ. These aspects enrich our understanding of Psalm 121, showing how it is a profound expression of faith and trust in the God who protects and guards his people. Psalm 121 is a notable example of biblical literature that addresses themes of trust, protection, and divine care. Here are some additional points about its history and meaning. Cultural context. The psalm reflects the culture and geography of ancient Israel, where mountains and the desert were integral to the landscape. The mention of mountains may symbolize the search for safety and security in an often hostile environment. Poetic structure. Psalm 121 is composed poetically, with a rhythm and structure that facilitate its recitation and singing. This suggests that the psalm was written for use in liturgical or worship contexts. Theme of protection. The central theme of the psalm is divine protection. The image of God as a guardian is reinforced by the statement that he neither slumbers nor sleeps, suggesting constant and unfailing vigilance. Use in liturgy. Psalm 121 has been used in various liturgical traditions throughout history, including Jewish and Christian liturgies. It is often recited or sung in times of need or crisis, reflecting its ongoing relevance. Theological interpretation. From a theological perspective, the psalm highlights God's sovereignty over all things and his concern for the safety and well-being of his people. This is consistent with the biblical vision of a personal God involved in human history. Impact on spirituality. Psalm 121 has had a profound impact on the spirituality of many people throughout the centuries. It offers a message of hope and confidence, encouraging believers to place their trust in God amidst adversity. These aspects demonstrate how Psalm 121 is a rich source of inspiration and spiritual reflection, addressing universal themes of protection and care in God.